Hey, you ever been to Chancellor Park? That's where I live. My name is Tavin Dillard, and I live in a trailer park called Chancellor Park, and I mow lawns. I'd like to introduce you to my town. I've been making YouTube videos since about 2006, and then I've transitioned over to other platforms like the TikToks and the whatnot. But here on this podcast, I'd like to clue you into what's going on with me here lately. And this is like the pre-introduction. Now I'm going to send it off to myself for the real introduction. I'm glad you joined me. Bink, bink. Well, welcome to the Tavin Dillard podcast, y'all guys. Season 1, episode 11. Gobble, gobble. I hope your Thanksgiving turkey week was a huge success. I hope you still are living off them leftovers. Boy, those are beautiful things, them leftovers. You get the right one, boy, you just make yourself a plate, heat that thing up. And some of that stuff, like that pecan pie, I don't mind it, just room temperature, but it's good with a little heat on it, too. Anyhow, my name's Tavin Dillard. I mow lawns, and I live in Chancellor Park. This is a podcast, which is like a radio show, best I can tell, so you listening with your ears, but you don't see no pictures, but you just imagining, what's going on. Now, we heading out of the Novembers pretty much and into December, so Thanksgiving's behind us. We got Christmas ahead. I did mention last week for the first time, so this will be the second time I mentioned, that I'm working on a very special Christmas podcast episode. 1 hour Christmas special. Now that's going to come the day after the last episode of season 1 airs, which is Tuesday, December 21st, episode 14 of this podcast air. Well, Wednesday, December 22nd, Christmas episode air. Hello. So it's going to be a week of podcasting there right there leading up to Christmas. I hope y'all like it. I've been working hard on this Christmas podcast, so I'm looking forward to sharing that with y'all. But in the meantime, we walking through this softball season, as y'all guys know. And last week wasn't something you really write home about kind of thing. Last week's game, Chlorine Phillips' son Gilbert, who played backup catcher 1 year at a community college in Ozarks and beat up an adult bull moose, played for the other team, and they whooped us 7-2. We got this word this week that they doing playoffs for our adult softball league this season, but we like 3-5-1, and that just ain't playoff material yet. But season ain't over. You never know what can happen in the few games, and we basically trend in the right direction. We really are. I know what I just said. We got whooped 7-2 last week, but there's reasons for that, and I won't go into it. Well, I might go into it a little bit here, but last week was a mess, because mostly Gilbert. Now, I know that ain't going to make excuses, but I will say Gilbert was a big reason that we got so messed up. He don't even live in town, and he's gone now. So he basically showed up, played one game, the game that team played, Team Burger Shed, the only game he played in, which is my team, Burger Shed, and now he gone. That's fine. We ain't quitters, and I'm just going to leave that right there like half a sandwich you find on a park bench. You just don't pick it back up. Speaking of leaving things right there, Millie Ricks brought a therapy cat into the veterinary today. And you can't see this because this is a podcast like a radio show, so the way you do is listen, so you can't see no pictures. But I'm doing them air quotes around therapy cat because Millie had it wrong. She did not have no therapy cat. Truth be told, she did not even have no cat. If you ain't never run into Millie, she's somewhere in her 90s, maybe late 80s. I think she can't hear too well, and she can't see too well, but she got the energy of a young rat terrier. But that energy kind of go in spurts, because she older. Well, I got hired to mow the lawn at the veterinary. That's where they have like a doctors and nurses for animals. They got a big back lawn there, so they're working with them animals, but some of them animals need to get out and run around, stretch their haunches. And so they got that big yard back there, and I was push mowing that thing today. And they see all kind of animals out there. Dogs, cats, wood finches, horses, cows, a bobcat. They even had a peacock and a Shetland pony. Our town's known for ponies, so there's been quite a few going through there over the years. Mary Beth Tucker, she went to school for horses. That's her main job, and she does a concession stand during the softball season to help out. But she said once that peacocks and Shetland ponies are so mean, and it could be tempting not even to help him. That's what she said. Like you don't even want to help them. You know how like a little puppy, they got them big old eyes and they cute and they fluffy. Well, ponies is mean and they'll bite you. And peacocks, they ain't got no big cute eyes. I think they little beady eyes and they got beaks and they just scratch you. They got them big old talons, them big old claws. So she's like, they ain't the nicest animals, you know. And a fully mature peacock can get a squirrel in a headlock. You know about that? I seen that. So anyways, today I'm mowing the back lawn there, and folks start pouring out of the veterinary like it's a fire drill. I'm, push mowing it like I said, and it's loud, so I can't hear what people are, what the commotion is. I can just see, but I go ahead and end up cutting off that mower when I see folks moving like that, because I'm like, well, there must be some sort of emergency. There's some sort of emergency going on, because emergency, you just look at stuff with your eyes and you say, well, that ain't, first of all, it ain't normal. I know they don't pour it out of the back of the veterinary every day like that, looking over their shoulder and running and trying to hurry out different animals and all that thing. But Mary Beth, she got her thumb. She's coming out of there just kind of hustling, and her thumb's pointing back over her shoulder, and she's just saying, Millie Ricks. That's what she's yelling. She's yelling Millie's name. And I got them little like earmuff things that make the noise not as loud when you lawn mowing. So I pull those down around my neck, and then I hear, I see her little chubby thumb poking back over her shoulder, and she's saying, Millie Ricks. So I'm thinking, well, I know who that is. So I'm assuming, everybody's running out. But then it's like, when somebody usually says Millie's name, they ain't running in fear. I mean, she can surprise you. Like when she filled a super soaker full of sweet tea and sprayed me when I was trying to mow her lawn. She sure thought that's funny too. But it was not. Being sticky is bad enough when it's hot, but then when them bees and dragonflies want to make you their party spot, it gets bad so fast. So fast. So I could imagine, maybe she's doing something ornery, but I don't know that it's worth evacuating a whole veterinary. That's where I'm trying to put the pieces together at this point. So I holler at her. I was like, what's wrong, Mary Beth? And Mary Beth, she's huffing and puffing, kind of doubling over. And she just say, it's not a cat. I'm thinking, okay, what in the world is Mary Beth talking about? Because I know the whole story now because I'm on the other side of it. But at the time, this afternoon, I didn't know. And all I could see is Mary Beth running out and then saying, out of the veterinary, saying, it ain't a cat. And I'm thinking, what ain't a cat? And about that time, Millie Ricks walks out the back of the veterinary holding a skunk. Well, there we go. Apparently, they're easier to catch than you might think. Maybe as easy as a crow. Have to ask Candy Dilroy about that. That little 8-year-old can catch a full-grown adult crow like nobody's business. Anyways, Millie Ricks is looking around, confused at the commotion. She don't know what the big deal is, and I don't even know she's aware that she's the one causing the commotion. And she just hollers, my cat needs a bath, kind of thing. Well, I take a step toward her, and I look at that skunk, and buddy, I know a lot of folks is scared of skunks. It's the same kind of reaction when folks see snakes. It ain't about what they are doing. It's about what they can do. That skunk could spray you. And boy, you get sprayed by a skunk. I don't know if you've ever been sprayed by a skunk, but they say, you got to like take a bath in tomato juice or whatever. But I mean, you're going to gag. You're going to want to burn whatever clothes you're wearing, dry heave, throw it up. I mean, you just don't want it. And so it doesn't look like none of that happened yet, but everybody's thinking, boy, that's what could happen, That skunk was as scared as we were, though. I was looking at it. I'm pretty sure by the look on that skunk's face that it ain't never been cradled like a little baby doll before, and it was not sure what its next steps should be. It's kind of, it didn't have a game plan for this. It didn't think some 90-year-old lady could just scoop it up and hold it and cradle it and take it down to the veterinary for a bath. So I was a little stunned, and I did not know how long that was going to last. I ain't no skunkologist. I don't know how long a skunk's going to be like that before they get tired of it and say, I ain't having this no more. I'm going to claw this old gal that's holding me and get out of here, hotel, east, west, or somewhere else kind of thing. I didn't know if that thing had already skunked Millie, honestly, because she wouldn't know it because she can't smell. Maybe that skunk knew that. Maybe it'd be a waste of effort, and that skunk's like, I ain't going to skunk this old gal. I ain't going to do no good. I'm going to save it for another day. I don't know. But it's like Millie Ricks was that skunk's kryptonite, and somebody can't smell, and that's Millie. So I don't really know. But I knew that Millie had to let that skunk go. I knew that. That's the whole thing. If she didn't have a skunk in her hand, folks wouldn't be evacuating the veterinary. Like if she walked in there just normal, like just, hey, I'm Millie Ricks, and I got things to say, and whatever, nobody's running out. But she got a skunk in her arms, so it wasn't her cat no matter what she said, and it didn't need a bath. It's a skunk, So I say, Millie, what you got there? Like that. She said, this is a little kitty cat. And I say to her, well, can you let it go? And she asked me, why? And I said, well, because I know your pets, Millie, and you don't own a cat that color. And then she said, what color is it? And she looks down at that skunk. I like kind of curious. And I think that skunk, I heard it say like please, Tavin. Like it was rooting for me. And I think Millie's grip loosened just a little bit. She's answering my question. And there's a little doubt in her mind, like, oh, maybe I don't have a cat this color or something. So now it's like a hostage negotiation. I'm like, Millie, go ahead and put that cat on the ground. And she's like, oh, it needs a bath. And I told her, well, cats give themselves a bath, Millie, so you ain't got to worry about that. And she said, well, they ain't got thumbs. So I guess in her mind, she's thinking that cat is going to need to hold a bar of soap, and get behind its ears and then work that shampoo and up to a lather on the top of its little cat head, which would really be a skunk head, but we ain't getting into the details with Millie, So she's thinking you're going to have thumbs if you a cat giving yourself a bath. And I said, well, I understand, Millie, that it ain't got thumbs, but it'll lick itself, and you ain't got to worry about it. And she said, well, I want to dry its hair. Well, then I don't know what it was. I ain't trying to make myself out to be better or smarter than I just am normally, which is my normal brain power. But I did say, well, go ahead and get your hair dryer, kind of thing. Well, she said, like a light bulb went off above Millie's head, like that was a good idea, like she thought that what I said made sense to her. And she said, oh, good idea. And she was off. I mean, she let that skunk down. It bolted, and whatever lesson it needed to learn, I could tell that skunk had learned it by the look on his face. And nobody got skunked. Millie turned around back into the veterinary. I don't know if she was going to walk home to go get a hairdryer. I didn't figure that out. But I do know that she let that skunk go, and everybody was very happy about that. Nobody got skunked, but it sure scared folks because it wasn't going to bolt back into the building. Everybody else was standing back there with me on the lawn, which means the skunk's got to run our way, to get out of there because it wasn't going the same direction as Millie. So it came our way. Folks scattered. The only time I seen Mary Beth Tucker move that quick was when she got tossed off Myron's moped. He's still learning how to handle that thing. So that happened the same day as our softball game, which was today. Lots of chatter about that skunk and how I talked Millie Rick out of giving it a bath. But as a businessman, you get in these situations where you got to deal with folks and their ideas and their hopes and dreams. And yeah, you got to help negotiate all that. I don't want to call myself a hero, nothing like that. But we got through it. And tonight we was playing for our lives, so to speak. Once we found out there's going to be playoffs, we knew we couldn't afford to lose no more games. And we found out about them doing playoffs, just in the last day or so, and we don't even know if we can make it anyway. We sure know you can't go if you only won 3 games all season, so we got to keep winning. That's how we are, so we trying. So let me ask you this. Who had a good night at the plate? That's a rhetorical question. Who walked twice tonight, got hit by a pitch tonight, and had a soft single tonight? Then in the 7th inning, hit a dribbler in the infield. Now, I ain't a power hitter. I hit to contact, and I'm a spray hitter. But the dribbler in the 7th seemed like a routine play. But if you spend any time around an adult softball league, there's rarely a routine play. Kirk Pickney, he picked up that dribbler. He's playing third base. He also plays third base for the high school team. He got an arm like a rocket, and he fired that thing to first base, and it just sails up, 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 and go all the way out to the second parking lot, all the way under a tan Buick with white doors. They couldn't find it, and whoever hit that ball got to take a second base, and the guy that hit that ball was me. So I'm on second now. So imagine, if you will, me on second. Well, they got Mort Dwydell batting behind me tonight, and he turned quick on the first pitch, and before you know it, we was both standing at home base. Home run Mort. He hits dingers. After that is one thing after another. We was scoring machines, steady smelling them playoffs. We scored 17 runs tonight. Count them. We scored 17 and they scored 12. I mean, everything was clicking on all cylinders. I mean, everything. But our pitcher wasn't, that's pretty bad. We gave up 12 runs, but thankfully we were playing a team who had the same problems, and theirs was worse. Because at the end, by the time we'd score 17, I mean, really amped up our numbers. I don't know what it did to my batting average because, I mean, if you look at my line score there that I just mentioned, I was doing a lot of walking or getting hit by a pitch. I did make contact a couple times, but it doesn't matter. I mean, we care. It's a team sport, and we care about the W at the end of the game, and that's what we got. So here's what you need to think about now. Looky here. That puts our records at 4-5-1. 4 win, 5 loss. One of them losses being to a guy who was a ringer, got brought in and beat up an adult bull moose, played against us, won, and then left town. But we ain't talking about that. So that put us a little step closer to the playoffs because we won the game. So all I really know is that we won this week. We won so hard. I mean, so hard. You think of us like 6-8 weeks ago. I mean, we was a ragtag, chest-naked team, but now we got uniforms. We got hoodies. I mean, we don't play in the hoodies. I think Mort did once. He's a little cold, but now that it's getting into fall, but usually we don't. We got Burger Shed hats. We got all that stuff. You can't buy them at the concession stand. I'll put a link in the bio, though, here. Not in the bio, but in the show notes for the podcast so you can check out all our gear if you want to be part of this winning team. I mean, 4 wins, that makes you winners the way I see it. I can't remember if I told y'all, though, about the concession stand policy, but winning teams get a free snow cone. And so we made our way over there tonight after the game. And the concession stand's painted now. They painted it light blue. The smell of the fire where the old one burnt is pretty much gone now, especially once they put on a new coat of paint. Like it's hard for anything to be stronger than a new coat of paint, and I guess that's good news in this situation. And the only flavor they had, though, in there, Mary Beth had in the concession stand, by the time we got over there to get our free snow cones after winning 17-12, and we've won 4, so there's been a few times we've got to make our trip over there for the free snow cone, but I ain't got one recently. The only flavor they had left tonight was coconut. You may have already figured this out, but our concession stand ain't winning any awards. It just ain't. I mean, we got one, and it's definitely got its ups and downs. I don't know. We ain't keeping score, but I think Bud's Burger Shed's got a better record than the concession stand. Anytime you got a fire or you try to do something nice like serve hot butter dinner roll softer than a baby angel's leg, but you run out, then you got people that are mad because you didn't think about how many people you're going to be able to serve. And then, s'mores. We already talked about that. That didn't work. It's like good ideas, but just real poor execution. It's like a AA concession stand. We ain't in the majors over here, that's for sure. So I just saw that coconut snow cone. I was like, y'all can hold on to that. I ain't even trying to touch it. I just came down to the Burger Shed, got a cherry Dr. Pepper. I think the owner of that Buick drove off with the softball. That Buick with that tan Buick with the white doors. And you ain't supposed to do that. You ain't supposed to drive off with the softball. It ain't like a major league game where you take it home with you like a souvenir. But if you can't find it, you can't find it. And that ball never showed up. And that old Pickney boy that throwed it, I mean, he should have known. He throwed that halfway to the moon, it felt like. I mean, he just put a lot of mustard on it, and that's how that went. And now we feel like we in the hunt. I should know more next week, but that's what they say in baseball. It's all about streaks, and so I apply that to softball because I ain't playing baseball, and we hitting our streak at the right time. No doubt in my mind about it. So, hey, I'm feeling good. I hope you are too. I mean, 4-5-1. We doing the right thing. Heading into Christmas season. I do got Team Burger Shed shirts 2021 with the roster on the back. We got Mort and Myron and JT and Rance and all the fellas' names on the back of the shirt. If you're interested in that, or just the regular Bud Burger Shed, the Burger Shed uniform shirt, just says Burger Shed on the front. We got that too. We got the hats, Burger Shed. Got the hoodies, Burger Shed. All kind of things. I got the fully mature Peacock with a score and a headlock hoodie. Any kind of that stuff that you're interested in, you got to know that that's available now, but you also, I say, use the discount code if you want 10% off. And that's in the show notes, and you'll see how to get to the merchandise. But then there's also a separate link for personal greetings. This time of year, people are wanting me to say, hey, hey, Merry Christmas, so and so. Today, mom or dad or whoever they want for a Christmas greeting. And the good news is, my greetings that I do, they are not stuck on a cargo container in the middle of the ocean. Nope. I got them in my trailer, and they'll go straight to your email inbox. And you can download and share them greetings however you want, and upload them wherever you want to. They're yours once you buy them. So anyways, there's a discount code for 10% off the greetings too, if you want that this week. So check the show notes for the links to merch, and then also a separate link to the greetings and, discount codes. Enjoy them leftovers, y'all guys. You got to be getting close to the end of them, am I right? Maybe just a little bit. Well, thanks for joining me this week. I'm so glad you did. Let's head into Newton. Well, not to Newton. I guess I could say New December. I guess bye to November. Hello to Decembers. And we heading into the Christmas season. So, if you ain't lost a softball under a tan Buick with white doors this week, I guess you're doing pretty good. Sure appreciate you joining me on the Tavin Dillard podcast. Please, you can subscribe. If you ain't already subscribed, do leave a review or a rating. Appreciate that. It's a big help to me. Catch up with me on the website. Check the show notes for them links I talked about. And until next time, y'all guys, we'll see you later.